Hello and welcome back to Elden Ring. Last time we ended up going through this area on the... not sure what it is, it's the plateau. Going up through here, fought the dragon, got the Dark Moon Greatsword, got Black Knife Tiche. Between episodes I went, cleared the Lunar Estate ruins, and got Colonna's Rise, where you have to go like here, I believe it's around here, actually I think it's like right up here, and then make your way over towards here, and you have to shoot or hit 3 phantom giant tortoises, and all you get is Ranni's Dark Moon spell, which we can't use as it's an intelligence spell instead of faith. At the ruins, I got Cerulean Amber +2, so if you want more FP, that's about it. I also upgraded Black Knife Tiche to +10, and unfortunately, for what I have planned, I'm not going to be using her. I also had to, off-screen, get the other half of the Dectus medallion, because I was like, oh, I'll just go up the elevator. I only had half of it. I had forgot the other half back at Fort Faroth. Quite literally, you just have to go up the first ladder past the bats, and the chest is right in front of you. When we went through it, I somehow just blanked out and didn't acknowledge its existence. So yeah, I was dumb. I had to zip back, grab that, and now we're here. And man, I don't feel like losing 55,000 souls, but we're gonna go fight Godfrey? Essentially, Godfrey, Godric, Godre, whichever one. It's the grafted guy, but it's a phantom version where he's tougher. Okay. See if we can open up with Rotten Breath. That's going to be a big move. And man, I hope I don't screw this up. Drink that. Come on, start summoning in Godfroy. Yep. I ate it. I ate that hit, but that's fine, because we're already at an advantage. We got his health lowered, and we managed to get the... whatchamacallit on him. The rot. So now, we're in a good spot. Ha, loser. And now to disengage from that. Because I don't feel like eating a axe to the face. God, this is going way better than my first time fighting him. Ooh, that stall. God, look at this. Ah, the double wind. Those always get me. But it doesn't matter, because you're gonna rot, big boy. Bow before these nuts. Poke. Nice little poke to the eye. Yeah! Godfrey icon! And almost enough souls to level up. Here I was dreading that fight. I was sitting here like, this is gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna have to cut it and do like a dozen runs, because that's what happened the first time I did it. I died just time after time after time after time. I was full tilt. I was talking with a friend of mine, because he's like, oh, did you get this medallion? I'm like, nah, dude, what is it? And he explained it as a caster. I was like, oh, damn, I need that. So I went through, and I was just getting walloped. And of course, I didn't have some of the gear that, realistically, for an int faith build, I needed. So I'm just sitting there trying to cast Stone Throw, or Boulder Toss. And it works, but it is so slow. And not having any status effects or dots, quite like Scarlet Rot, I was just getting pummeled. I couldn't dodge that guy to save my life. But that fight, other than eating a few hits, which... I mean, I survived. That's the important part. I wish I didn't have to eat those hits, because it was a bit foolish of me. But, in the long run, not a big deal. We're gonna actually take on the golems. If I can get a good... Actually, I can probably just run behind them. Because I'd like to get the extra souls off these guys. You know, why wouldn't I want free souls and effectively what should be another level? Yeah, that wasn't enough to actually get the kill. A little disappointed. Okay, so he's just not gonna take those hits very well. Actually, if I'm smart here, I can just lightning bolt his ankles. Yeah, I saw people talking about Monster Hunter Rise, and they're comparing it to Elden Ring. They're like, oh, Elden Ring has such terrible combat compared. I'm like, do you really want, like, really want Monster Hunter Rise combat in Elden Ring? You know, grapple bug, being able to grapple into the air at any point, just launching yourself up, doing some kind of Shoryuken jumping punch into a just slam down. You really want that? Because, yeah, it is cool. You can flex nuts on an AI monster. The second you get into a PvP with that, you are going to loathe existence. I can guarantee people would become belligerently butt frustrated at the concept of that. You know, these same people who are like, oh, it'd be great. Second they get invaded would be the same people who instantly hit the power button on their systems, or Alt F4. Because they wouldn't want to screw with that. It's like, yeah, the combat's pretty basic. But it's because there's a degree of necessity to it. If you want absolute crackhead combat, you're gonna end up being on the receiving end of that crackhead combat at some point, and you're not gonna have fun. As much as I loathe PvP in this game, the only reason it sucks is because there's cheap builds. You know, dual bleed arcane twin blades that can insta-proc on you. Yeah, that's cheap. But that's because, you know, they build entirely into arcane, and that's literally all they can do. It's stuff like that where it's like, yeah, of course it's going to be cheap. But there's so many counters to that. If you could get some of the attacks from Monster Hunter, it would just God, it would be terrible. I mean, think about it. Even just the twin daggers. They have their little special moves that are like, oh, you can do like a spam attack of just a ton of stabs. It's like, do you really want that? Because what I would do if I was an absolute scum dirtbag human being, I would get it. I'd get that set so that I can do the attack, and I would make them. I would probably give depending on how it is. If it's a weapon art, you might be able to get away with something. You could still be real annoying with it. Otherwise, if it's just like, oh, it's your two-handed, charged R2 or something, or yeah, your charged R2, you could do something like Cragblade, which increases your stagger, and then just machine gun down a dude with rapid fire slashes, instantly poise break him, stagger him, go in for, because you'd have a second, flip to something that's high crit, like a rapier or something, and just go for an instant crit, and just run people through. It's like, do you want that? Because I don't. That would suck. And the argument of, oh, well, it would leave them open. Yeah, and you hit them, and it would cancel the animation, and then they can do it again to you. It's the curse of people who are like, oh, I'm smarter than a game developer. No, you're not. Hate to break it to you. You're not. Yeah, sometimes game devs make dumb decisions. Sometimes it's dumb decisions out of necessity. There's a lot more going on than some people like to think. Because, yeah, having super flashy moves would be fun, but it's gonna be punishing as all can get out for the player. And of course, if you have really cheap moves, you gotta give the bosses cheap moves.
Oh, are you here as a customer?
So it's like, okay, you now gave them extremely cheap moves. How are you going to enjoy having those used against you?
Oh, I must.
Where does this teleporter go? Oh, sweet, that's exactly where I wanted to go. Perfect. I hate those mages. They use the Haima spell, so Gavel of Haima and the canon one. Yeah, it's just... I do laugh when people have these ideas, because they're... I know they mean well, but it's kind of one of those road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of deals. Like, yeah, you want some cool flashy stuff, but you're gonna suffer for it. There's no two ways around it. Come on, give me the club. Whoa. I guess he's always supposed to give you all that? Huh. Oh, I want to look at his hat. What's it do? Okay, so I lose FP. Not too big on that. Gain strength and intelligence. I mean, if I was going strength int, that's not a bad option. It's only 2 each, but... sometimes you gotta take what you get. So many rats. I love how the little slap hurts, like, that is a person hand size slap. Yay, giant rat ashes. Arguably one of the worst. I mean, it's kind of like the dogs in that you could stagger someone, but it's rats. I have to check, because I think they're one of the ashes that actually cost nothing to summon. Yeah, it is a free summon. Even the noble or the wandering noble cluster costs some FP. And that one, they're just like, yeah, here, take these idiots. Hopefully you can do something with them. Now that's actually something I want to see someone do. Plus 10 rat run. Come on, someone has to be brave enough to do a rat-only fight. Oh, there's our boy. There he is! Gold mask! Also, he has a... That man has a neck longer than a Monday. Look at that. I'm not gonna do his questline because I don't have... Like, it's an intelligence, int faith build. And yes, I could respec, but I don't want to sit here respec just to go do one thing and then turn around and come back and be like, okay, time to use another thing to respec out of this build. Cease your dancing. All the zombies are just like, what do we do now? Oh, lightning. Hey, Navy Hood. That gives you 1 mind instead of 1 vigor, like the red one. Kinda wish there was a green one. Would I use it? No. I would just like to have 1 for each of your main stats. And that's all there is here. But we have way more windmills to go through. Because we have this whole area, the Windmill Village. And the weapons they have, the celebrant weapons, I have managed to get 2 of everything. It took forever. But they give you 10 runes per hit. So it's like the... I think it's the Needle of Eternal Agony from Demon Souls. The like fish hook that gives you souls every time you hit. That was a fun weapon. Absolutely garbage, but fun. I miss stuff like that, or Baby's Nail. Demon Souls, even though people do give it a lot of credit, people don't give it enough credit. It was a good game. Especially for... It's not the first game, you know, FromSoft's done. I mean, Kingsfield exists. But, you know, for the game that effectively became the progenitor of all that we know for Souls games and the Soulsborne genre. It's pretty good. I need a little more damage on this thing. Just a teeny tiny bit though, not anything too crazy. Yeah, meat dumplings, never gonna eat. Oh. Okay, you can eat those. There is a play you can make by wearing the mushroom crown, and then you eat them, because it'll likely inflict poison, and if it does, then you get the stat up. And because it takes so long to burn, and the amount of health isn't, like, it's a discernible amount, you will lose a lot of health, but you're kind of given enough leeway. So it is viable, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I'm doing the dumpling poison mushroom man build. I mean, it sounds insane and likely is. Okay. Let's check. Do we have enough for a level up? I wasn't paying attention. 6k off. I'm not going to bother popping a rune right now. Memorize spells. We're going to swap out Flame Cleanse Me. We don't need it anymore. Flame Grant Me Strength isn't bad. It just takes forever. Like, you cast it and it lasts so short that you're continually casting it. It makes the spell pretty tedious. We'll go Frozen Lightning Spear. It's a classic. It hits hard. It pays for itself. 36 FP is a little steep, but you know, you gotta spend FP to get FP. Yep, that's a celebrant weapon, so now we have the hammer. It's not bad. I mean, it always comes in at the caveat of, there are better weapons. But if you're doing, you know, some kind of memey, low-level farming, yeah, go for it. You know, slap, like, Waves of Darkness on there and just bonk a bunch of dudes. That's what I did for fun. I don't think I actually went over what you get from beating Estelle, Natural Born of the Stars. You can turn in the soul for the flail. It's an intelligence flail. Bastard Stars, which the ability is Nebula. You swing it and create the floating, like, nebula cloud and it explodes. It's an ability. And then there is... what's the other one? Oh, Waves of Darkness, that you can put on any Great Spear, Hammer, or similar item. And then, upon using it, it creates multiple, like, darkness shockwaves. And then those will, in turn, deal damage. As for their effectiveness, like, if you're going for an intelligence build and need a weapon, and you want something that uses Somber Smithing Stones, don't use Bastard Stars. Flails are so terrible. They have such abysmal range that they're just not worth the investment. You are better off getting the sword. I can't remember where you get it, but it's the Wing of Estelle. You have the same Nebula special, but you never need to use it. Because your heavy attack, you swing and launch a projectile. So it's a free projectile you get to send at enemies. And it's just way more reliable. You know, you can just tap and you'll launch it. You can charge it and launch it. It's kind of like the Frozen Needle, where it's like, hey, your heavy actually has a projectile, and it's not half bad. Stuff like that is far better than, like, Bastard Stars. It's terrible. Same as the familial heads that we got. It's not worth it. Yeah, we have the heads, right? Yeah, family heads. This is not worth it. Familial Rancor. The Rancor spells suck. The only good one is the Ancient Death Rancor, I believe it is, which is the largest effect range and creates the most skulls. That's the only good one, just because you have sheer volume of fire. That one, you can sit around and, like I've done, you just continually slang. Just one after another after another. You'll stagger guys. A lot of enemies won't take a ton of damage because it's not built for stagger. I know, you know, why use it as a staggering ability if it's not built for it? It's because it's just so many. That's the whole purpose I have for it. I also use it to chase invaders, just because they won't want to get hit, so they're just going to keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And if you have good enough FP costs and cost reductions, you can just keep them busy, and you're either going to bleed them out of stamina, or they're just going to run. And, you know, you just keep chasing them. You could chase them down and Moonveil them, but, you know, I'm not about that life. Moonveil's fun. I have plus 10 on my main. But it's just like, okay, I have it. I guess if I really wanted to flex nuts, I could, in my second run through, get a second Moonveil and then dual wield. But that just seems really stupid to me. And I mean, so many people know how to counter Moonveil because it's so common. Your only advantage is just, once again, volume of fire. If you got multiple people just Moonveiling the hell out of a position, they're gonna struggle. Bunch of midsummer looking people. Okay, so, yep, we got our big boy up there. Chug that. Chug this. Yep, we got him. That's good. Low on FP, not too happy, but that's whatever. Yep, there's the Tish knife effect. I love the black knife. That's going to be a weapon I'm going to grab once we get through here. Yeah, you notice this Apostle, compared to the one we fought in Caelid, just goes down like a chump. Godskin Peeler, Scouring Black Flame. Scouring Black Flame's not bad. I just don't like the charge time on it. I think it's a little long. Some people will make a case for it, but not me. But I will switch to it just so you can kind of see it quick, and then we'll switch back probably. Because you just go... boom. Like it had... you know, we'll use it for a bit. It's got decent range, and I need a kind of wave clearing spell. And we hit 50 faith, so we'll go back and start pouring into mind, get that to 30, and then go from there. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.